What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday, by the way. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to the week. Today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the Plarium news that just dropped for us for the next couple of days. First and foremost, I want to drop you guys some personal news here. Upcoming for the CBC in about 19 hours, we will be doing a stream as per usual, our usual CBC stream on YouTube. It's going to be more like a birthday stream for me because it is my birthday week. Also, it's going to be my last stream for a couple weeks because I will be actually going away on vacation. So you guys might not see me so active on YouTube and the communities as much, but make sure you guys drop on by and say hello and all that and catch me before I head on my actual real life vacation. But don't worry, guys, content will still be coming out of the channel for the couple weeks that I'm away. So no worries there. I'm just talking about like my overall communication might be a little bit lessened just because my internet might not be as strong where I'm going. But we can talk about all that on my stream. Make sure you guys drop on by. It's gonna be non-personal reward CBC, so nothing too high stakes. So it's gonna be very chill. Yeah, make sure you guys drop on by. So let's quickly drop over these the news that Plarium just gave us. So quickly, right above my head, we have the news here, the little snip here. Surprise, surprise, we got two progressive events coming for the next 2 days. Each one of these events will be 24 hours long. So we got two sets of progressive event champions here. Let's go over them quickly. I'll give my quick thoughts on each of them. All right, so coming up, we got day one, we got Freya, Fate Weaver. Freya actually is a very, very good champion. At her, at the base of what she is, she's basically a very fast cleanser. But there's some really good things about Freya here. Her cleanse comes with a turn meter boost. I think that's something that really sets her apart, is that you can kind of use her to basically, cleanse your team and then boost into them. So she can be, she can definitely enable your team to do that. So a lot of times if you cleanse your team and you're not able to, connect your team with the boost, your team is still, potentially susceptible to more crowd control from your enemy, or you have to build them very close in speed. But with Freya gives you a 20% boost. This allows a lot more flexibility with the way you build her, and her cleanse becomes that much more powerful because after you cleanse, you can connect right into your team. She also brings a massive shield here. She brings increased defense before she places the shield, which is really, really good, giving her a really, really big shield to start without help from anybody else. She also brings an AoE A1, which is a provoke. This is a little bit annoying. It's only a 40% chance. So it's not a huge percentage chance to happen, but it's very, very annoying that it happens very frequently. And of course, provoke can definitely just CC, champions randomly. So very high impact A1. And of course, her passive is very good as well. The active effect, of course, is the best. It protects one champion from dying from fatal damage. It's going to be the champion with the highest crit damage. Keeps them alive at 1 HP. Now, this is not like foolproof or anything like that. If you hit them with a multi-hit, they're still going to die. But if you can get this off properly, it's very, very strong. It gives them a heal and an instant turn as well. Very, very cool ability. And then 110 base speed. Great base stats on her overall. Great champion overall. She was the deck of fate for the Asgard Divide. And yeah, she was really, really hard to get. But very, very strong champion. Up next, we have the, I guess, the People's Champion, because the people built him. Vaultkeeper Wixwell is up for grabs again. Was up along with some big controversy a long time ago about his shield. He was nerfed, but he's still very good, right? Still very good. Places the intercept stacks, increased defense with shield on the A3. He has the grow, the decrease attack on the A2, and the A1 provoke 100% chance against bosses. Does get affected by affinity, unfortunately, but it is 100% chance. Very good champion, good base stats overall. I still use him in like my Hydra teams and stuff just because he's a consistent provoke. He does bring some ways to keep your team alive with defense and shield, and then decrease attack as well. So he is a decent champion overall, still gets used. Up next, we have from the Skinwalkers, spirit-based defense champion, Ragash. Ragash here, it's pretty good, can self-sustain himself in terms of his own plus increase attack, increase defense buff, so he can buff himself and then basically do more damage. Is a really good 3-turn AoE, decrease defense, and stun. Like, there's not a lot of champions that do this, and this is a really good move. Obviously, it requires him to have accuracy, and he's gonna make him a sheep target, but still a great move. And he brings a bit of a team buff strengthen, increase speed, and then perfect veil on himself. It's a little bit interesting kit, but then of course he can, like I said, self-sustain himself, right? Plus defense here, increase speed, strengthen, perfect veil, and then defense in all battles. He's a decent defense-based damage nuker. Up next, we have Kyoku from the Shadowkin. So Kyoku here. Where is she? There she is. I actually don't have her on this account. Great champion, great kind of like support carry here. She brings the A1 weaken, single target, decrease attack AoE. Very good against waves, of course. Bringing ally protection, and then also places block damage on this champion, so she doesn't really sustain that much damage. And her passive is interesting. It's a bit of a heal, and it's also increased defense. She does a lot for like things like clan boss against waves. Very annoying. Can be very annoying in like places like arena even, especially when you're first starting out. So she can definitely be used there as well. Up next we have Hellcath from Demon Spawn. Hellcath was a fusion way back in the day, one of the most impactful fusions probably back in the day, since unkillable teams were still kind of a thing, one of the main ways to tackle Ultra Nightmare difficulty. Bringing the block damage here, very, very good on the 4-turn cooldown. Big shields here, portion of the defense, A1 weaken, and then a passive here, which is really good. Just kind of passive damage, right? Whenever your teammates are hit and they're under block damage, he's going to come in with the A1. He showed up a lot in Live Arena when Live Arena was still pretty new, and he was a little bit of a pain in the butt to deal with. I mean, I'm sure he's still a pain in the butt to deal with right now, especially in the lower ranks. So if you have him, great champion, still useful in a lot of areas. Obviously, like Iron Twins, Clan Boss, still can use him in like Live Arena, of course. But yeah, still a good champ. Let's see. And then we're talking about the voids here. Voids we got coming up. We got this guy, Grazur Iron Gut. Cool champ, great champ actually, great kit overall. AoE brings shields. And then you got the AoE attack with the heal and the duration of buffs increasing. And then you got an AoE provoke with increased resistance, increased defense. Cool passive here, heals your whole team, similar to Volgoth. And an unkillable on this champion if he dies, similar to Skull Crown. So he has a little bit of everything. He can deal damage as well because his hits are based on max HP. But yeah, great champion overall. Useful for a lot of different areas. Hydra, for example, can be useful as well. But yeah, very, very good champion, available from the Void Shards. And then what's next? Next up on the Void Shards, we have Tuhanarok. Tuhanarok's very good champion from the Barbarian faction. She is one of the few champions that can bring AoE block buffs. So basically, it's a little bit tricky, but it's not 100%. It's 3-turn cooldown, block buff, decrease attack, and then debuff spread. So if you place this on a enemy with no debuffs, it's a guarantee, block buffs spread. But if they have any debuffs, then it's a chance to place it. So it's not 100% consistent, but still very good. Decreased speed on the A1, increased speed, increased defense on the A3. And a useful passive here that passively removes debuffs every turn she gets. So she's, she has a total package kind of kit, a lot of stuff going on here. Great for Hydra, good for a lot of places in the game. But yeah, it's not 100% chance on the block debuff, so it is more of a manual champion if you want to use her in Hydra, for example. And then the last champion up for grabs on day 1, Bellatar, Mage Slayer from the Orcs. Where is Bellatar? I'm pretty sure he's an orc. My bad, he is in the Ogrins. So Ogren tribe, Bellatar, Mage Slayer here. I'm not too familiar with this champion though. He's got an A1, decrease the cooldown of a random skill on of the ally with the highest turn meter except for this champion. 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of random skill. I mean, yeah, sure. We have champions that decrease 1 turn, decrease 2 turns, so this is a full decrease, a 50% chance. AoE, increase attack and increase defense for a 3-turn, also with the heal. That seems fine. Not super strong, actually. Especially for a Void Legendary, it's not super strong. Like, we have champions already that can place increase attack, increase defense with an attack on a 3-turn cooldown, minus the heal. So, I mean, the heal doesn't really elevate this Void champion too much. We got an A3 here with a team-wide revive on a 4-turn cooldown. 50% HP, 50% turn meter, and it places a shield. I mean, the shield's not, It's not going to differentiate this revive too much from other champions that revive on a 4-turn cooldown. So not a huge kit so far. 50% chance of decreasing all of the allies' skill cooldowns by 1 turn whenever they're revived. Now this is a little bit too conditional. If this happened per revive and it's 100% chance, and not 1 turn, like we have Ancora, which is a single target revive, but it gets a full reset on the cooldowns for that revived champion. Yeah, this could be a lot stronger. If this was a lot stronger, you can argue that his kit maybe, it makes up for a bad kit, but this passive doesn't make up enough. I could see this guy getting buffed in the future. Like this could be easily 2 turns and it wouldn't break the champion. It just makes the champion a little bit better. Like this could be, I mean, this you could provide 1 turn cooldown reduction on everybody revived already, and he'll still be like not insane. And then this one you could provide another turn or 2 turns. But in any case, this champion is not super crazy sought after anyways. So let's move on to day 2. We're going to start off here with Arman's on day 2. Arman's past fusion from last anniversary. Still insane champion. Shaped the whole arena meta for a whole year already. Got the AoE stun here. And then we got the single target sheep and remove all stuff. Speed in arena battles. Still insane champion. One of the most picked champions in arena for sure. Still. Coming up next, we have High Keeper Prisma. Actually, really cool champion here from the High Elves. Prisma has a really cool passive here. At the start of this champion's turn, has a 40% chance to remove any block debuffs buffs from enemies and replace them with block buffs. So it's like a buff swapping passive. It's 40% chance. It's not going to happen all the time, but the fact that it happens passively is really nice. And then you also have the opposite happening, right? You have, sorry, not opposite, but this is also happening to other debuffs as well, not just the block debuffs happening and getting replaced with the block buffs. So basically it flips all the buffs on the enemy and then flips them for their opposite negatives. Great champion. Yeah, great champion. Also has this cool revive here. It's a single target, but it's really high turn meter, and it gives them perfect veil with increased attack. Has this really nice little ally attack here with one target and one of your allies. So you have the ally with the highest crit damage join you, attacking one champion, and then that champion's going to have all their stuff stripped off and stuff. And if the enemy is killed, you activate instant turn on the ally. So really cool kind of like support champion here. Can elevate some damage, can be absolutely pesky, but yeah, a little bit interesting of a champion. Up next we have Thor. We got Thor here. I did pull like a 3rd Thor recently on my alt. Really yeah, crazy, great champion, one of the best fusions last year. Great damage. A1 hits like a truck, A2 hits like a truck, A3 brings decreased speed, self-buffing, and still hits like a truck. Passive doesn't hit like a truck, but it hits basically all the time, so it's just passive damage here. Really good champion. I'm sure people that went for the Thor fusion were not disappointed. Useful in Hydra, waves, arena, all sorts of stuff where you need damage for waves. Great champion overall. Also brings actually a little bit of CC here from this passive, which is actually pretty annoying for people as well. So very strong champion overall. Up next we have Samson from the Skinwalkers here. Samson, I run over. For some reason, this guy shows up a lot on these progressive events, but like he is not like super useful, right? He brings the A1 stun, which is super annoying, and then he has a double hit here, which can be pretty good, but it has to kill somebody first. And generally, he doesn't hit hard enough to kill anybody, so it's like he kind of needs a setup almost. He can do some self-buffing, and then he has this counterattack passive here. It's fine. It's fine. And then because he counterattacks, he has the stun ability. It can be super annoying, but yeah, you need this guy to hit. He's a damage dealer, right? But he doesn't hit hard enough unless he hits the conditional on his A2. But it's, yeah, not a big thing for him to get used. Nethro comes in here from the Undead. Nethro, very strong champion, I guess, especially early on where he brings some wave control. So he has decreased speed and stun here. Unfortunately, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. If this is a 3-turn cooldown, I mean, if it was a 3-turn cooldown, I wouldn't break the game, and it would make him a lot more useful in a lot of areas, but still very useful, especially for like faction wars and stuff, especially when you're starting out. Big decreased turn meter drop here on a 4-turn cooldown on his A3. Again, if this is a 3-turn, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And then the A1 triple hit here with the chance to poison, so he can be useful for like clan boss early on and all that stuff. Interesting to see him here on the progressive event. Now we have the voids coming in, and then yeah. So let's see if we have barbarians here. We have Odin. Odin coming in for the voids here. You know, one of my biggest regrets in this game is actually not going all in for his champion chase last year. I had plenty of shards, and I feel like I was like, oh, I didn't really want to spend all the shards trying to chase a champion that I may or may not win. But in hindsight, I probably had more than enough to win, but I just didn't go for him. This guy's an absolute game changer for Arena. He brings a big speed in Arena battles for Void champions. There's a lot of Void champions that could benefit from that. A1 places the Berserk. Not a crazy hitter or anything, but can set up some crazy stuff. Obviously weakening the supports significantly. That's probably the best use for this A1. His A2 removes all buffs from all enemies, and then plays a decreased defense and the stun on a 3-turn cooldown. Crazy move, crazy for control, crazy for setting up your nuker. And then you got the A3 here that slams. Very interesting mechanics on this. Can be absolutely devastating in terms of overall damage. It does ignore 100% of the target's defense. So very, very strong hit. So he can be a damage dealer. He can be your control champion. He can be your strip champion. And then this passive is super, super annoying. I've definitely lost to this passive before in live arena, just having it go off passively. So Odin's a constant threat, right? So every 9 turns, block damage applies to your team. And it's just very, very annoying. Great champion overall. He's going to be up for grabs for the progressive event as well. And then we have Riho Bone Spear from the Shadowkins. Riho's very good. She's aged quite well, actually, considering that she was one of the first Shadowkin released, and she was deemed super, super powerful because of her passive, because of her really cool A2 that applies every single debuff here. But yeah, she's aged really well. She works really well against single target bosses, for example. So Chimera, she's been used. Shogun, she gets used. Sand Devil, she gets used. And then the fact that she applies 6 debuffs on one ability is really, really strong, because you can put her in a 9-piece feral set, and you get quite a big boost of damage, right, from this one ability alone. Cool passive here that reflects the debuffs from her onto the attacker for the first turn, and then of course 3-turn team-wide cleanse with the big heal. The heal is actually really, really nice. It's a massive heal. And then lastly, we have Tunisia here from the Skinwalkers. She is going to be probably the weakest void out of the bunch, but she's actually not weak, right? She brings AoE. She brings a single target decreased defense. She brings the AoE HP burn with the potential for a stun, then decreased speed, and then she has a single target slam here. She actually is not a bad champion at all. In the right gear, she can solo like Spider, for example. She's strong enough to solo Spider. She just needs a little bit of healing. Her HP burn can go through the poison cloud. I don't know if you guys knew that in the versus Hydra. It's actually a weird thing that goes on. It's clearly an attack, but it does go through the poison cloud. So it's kind of interesting. But right now, her biggest thing is empowering Marius. And I have a Tunisia. I have a Marius on the same account. I'm not going to feed my Tunisia to build my Marius, just because Tunisia is a void champion and it's not easy for me to get her, obviously. But you know, it really sucks, right? That this good champion has to go into Marius. But I think that's why she's here on this progressive, basically for people chasing empowerments for their Marius. They're going to have to chase this Tunisia champion as well. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the news drop here. Like I said, we got 2 progressive events for the next 2 days during CBC. It's a non-personal reward CBC. Each one of the days is going to cost, like, they're going to last 24 hours. So just keep that in mind if you're planning to pull for stuff, so that you guys know exactly what you guys are pulling for. Like I said, we're going to have kind of like a birthday week stream coming up for CBC. So if you guys want to join in for that, make sure you guys drop on by. I will be away for a couple of weeks, like I said, sometime in the middle of this week. So I'll be going off on vacation. So you guys won't hear from me too much or as much, just because of lack of internet and all that stuff. But I'll try my best to make sure we have some regular uploads coming in for the upcoming weeks so that we don't miss out on too much of raid content on this channel. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about the next coming event for the next 2 days for CVC. Any of these champions worth going for? Personally, I'm really interested in Odin, but the chances of pulling these champions, like, obviously are very, very small. For Voids, you have a better chance because there's less Void champions, but it's still a long shot. And I don't think I'm close enough to Mercy yet to warrant pulling a little bit of shards for Odin. But otherwise, yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in any of these champions. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.